Yo, what's up, guys? I'm bringing you a Stam DK PvE build for the Shadow of the Hist update. This build also applies to the current update. It's just we did it in the Shadow of the Hist PTS. Alright, so let's hop into it. First off, we're Khajiit, DragonKnight, of course. And non-buff, we have 17.5k health, 25k stam, 11.5k stam recovery, and 27k weapon damage. On our dual wield, we have 3.2, 70% weapon critical weapon crit chance, and then 15k spell resist, 11k physical. Then we have the Shadow Mundus, and we're using tri-stat food. And the reason why we're Khajiit is we want to bump up, like shoot up our crit percentage a lot. So that's really essential, especially with this dot build we're running. High crit is very nice. Plus it's decent, stam recovery, health recovery, it's alright. But the main reason is weapon crit. It's quite important. It's actually worth it. Just straight up from Carnage alone. Now the gear. So we have 3 pieces of Night Mother on the body, all with divines, and max stam on the small pieces. Well, okay. First off, we have 3 Night Mothers on the body. Then we have 1 Night Mother's axe, and that's it. So when we're on our axe, when we're on our dual wield bar, we have 688 weapon crit. But then when we're on our back bar, we don't have that. But it doesn't really matter in that case. Then we have 4 Hundings also on the body. And then we have the 1 Hundings axe to complete that set. Then we have the Hundings bow to complete the set on the back bar. So you want health on the big pieces, and then stamina on the small pieces. You want divines on everything, but infuse is also an option on the big pieces. So yeah. Then we have 3 piece agility, 1 with stam recovery, and 2 with weapon damage. Then on our axes we have this is something that's kind of weird, but preferably you'd want 2 different. You'd want 2 weapon damage and spell damage glyphs, like this one, but just on this one too. And then we have weapon and spell damage on our bow. So now for our skills, we have Bloodthirst, just for the heal, because we don't run rally. All we run is vigor, and the heal from Bloodthirst is nice, so it's just good to have. Then we have Blood Craze also for the heal, so it's pretty decent self-healing. Keep in mind, these are like all dots, so this is considered a dot. This is a dot, this is a dot, and this is a dot. So then we have Venomous Claw and Noxious Breath on the first part. Then we have Camouflage Hunter for the crit rating increase. Then we have Flawless Dawnbreaker for increased weapon damage, and another dot with a good instant DPS as well. On our back bar, bow bar, we have Poison Injection, another dot, and Endless Hail, another dot. Then we have Vigor for our heal. Then, actually, this is the wrong morph, but you'd want Razor Shark, Call Traps, or whatever, the other morph of this, which is another dot. And we have Igneous Weapon. This is so we can get our weapon damage, and it lasts for 40 seconds. That's what's nice about it. And we also have Flawless Dawnbreaker on here as well. So the buff stats aren't much different. The only thing that really changes is weapon damage. So without the weapon damage glyph, we get 0.9k. With the weapon damage enchant, we have around 4.3, 4.2 approximately. So it's quite good. Now, the reason why this build works so well, and the reason why we run Khajiit and Night Mothers and stuff, was because of the weapon critical. So Night Mothers has weapon critical on it, and so does the Hunting's Rage. And since we're also running Khajiit, it allows us to get really high weapon crit. 70%, which in ESO and a lot of games in general, a 70% weapon crit, it doesn't mean when you attack 100 times, it's going to crit 70% of the time. That's not what it means. It means that every time you attack, there's a 70% chance. So in these games, usually that comes out to crit pretty much every time. Because it's a reroll. Every single time you attack, it's a reroll. It's not based on actually how many times you attack. So with a 70% crit, you can attack 100 times and crit every single time. That's why a high crit doesn't have to be 100% for you to crit all the time. That's why instead of running extra weapon critical Mundus, we run extra weapon damage. And so with this build, realistically, you crit probably 90% of the time. And this might be confusing to you, but it's really what it is like. So, due to all of our dots can all crit. And since we have a decent weapon damage to begin with, the tooltips are quite great. All of these going off, you can see 8k damage over time, 11k damage over time, 8k, then 7k, and then this one's probably the best one. It's around 20,000 damage through 10 seconds, or a little less, around 17k damage. With the weapon chance, we'll get even more. So you can imagine what this build is capable of DPS wise. So as your kind of combo, you want to put down Cog Trap should be down all the time, right? And then once you like your combo type thing, and the thing that you use to just like your rhythm or your setup for this build is you use a poison injection into an endless hail bar swap, so it doesn't cause you to do the animation. Then into a noxious breath, claw, blood craze, and then you just start spamming bloodthirst. And then after about 10 seconds, you go back, poison injection, you can rebuff, add a vigor, endless hail swap. So yeah, that's the combo, and it's actually it just does a ton of damage, as you can imagine. All these dots really drop the enemies, and then whenever you get your flawless, you just put that in with your bloodthirst, and it just adds another dot. And so the damage on this is absolutely insane, around 50k. It's quite crazy. So this is the pure DPS build, DragonKnight build for this update, and if you want to run a PvE DPS, it's definitely what I'd recommend. So now the champion points. We run 100 in a Mooncalf. On live game, you want 100 in Mooncalf, 77 into Warlord. Then you want 100 in Precise Strikes, 77 into Mighty. You can also do is you could split all three. So 177 divided by 3 into all three of these. So this increases your damage of dots, increase your crit damage, and then just damage overall. That's an option as well, but it's up to you. Now for history, we have 40 to each of these and 20 in a quick recovery. What you would want is you'd probably want 30 in the quick recovery and then the rest split between these two. The reason why we have some quick recovery is because we only run vigor and we have those self heals, and we want those to actually help us. And you know, we don't want to die because our bursts is really based on us staying alive and not forced. Like we don't want to have to sit here on vigor and just keep going back to it. We want to just stay on our combo and just keep DPSing, so the extra heal helps our healers actually heal us more. So that's everything, guys. If you guys have any question about the build, you can just leave it in the comments. If I left anything out, in the comments, okay? Peace, guys.